Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, loves. I hope you are having an excellent Saturday afternoon. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week at work or school and you are ready to hop into the kitchen with the Italian country girl and make up a Southern style breakfast. So join me as we hop into the kitchen and we get to cooking. I want to go on first, apologize. I am very congested and stopped up today. I've been coughing this morning and stuff, so please bear with me. Um, and but we are gonna hop in the kitchen and we're gonna get to cooking. So my mission here today is to get you guys to see what big country breakfast could look like in the South. Imagine going to grandma's house or grandpa's house and just sitting down at the table and having your choice of whatever. That is kind of what happens in the South. You go to grandma's house and you get the full works. You get eggs and you get bacon and country ham and sausage and biscuits and gravy. And that is what we're going to have here. We're going to walk into grandma's kitchen today and we are going to cook up a southern style breakfast. So if you come and visit the South one day, this might be what you find on the breakfast menu at the local mom and pop meat and three breakfast places. You usually get to pick one or two meats and that kind of thing, and you get to sit down and have a big breakfast. Some of you may have Cracker Barrel near you, and they have like the Uncle Herschel special, and you get to pick lots of fixings too. So just imagine coming to Grandma's with me today as we go on our journey in the kitchen of a Southern style breakfast. Hello, Salt. Glad to have you in the Italian Country Girl's kitchen this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, first, what we're going to start with um, is I have my sausage here. But we're going to start because we need to get this cooking. We're going to start with some bacon. I have some bacon, and it is, I like to get the thick cut bacon. So we have the thick cut bacon here, and I'm just going to open this up. And most people, you can cook your bacon in a skillet or whatever on the stove. What I'm going to show you is another way I found to make bacon. So you don't have to have it on your stove, and it can be out of your way. And, we don't like the splattery bacon in the kitchen. So, how about cooking your bacon in the oven? Here is a way to cook your bacon, okay? So, what I do is I just take some foil and I put it down on my cookie sheet, okay? And then, as you'll notice, these two little round things, they're just little round cooling racks for a cake would cool on. Just put yourself two of those down on the foil and put your bacon across it. What this does is it allows your bacon to cook, the grease drop down, and your bacon doesn't have to set in all that grease. It'll be underneath it, and this allows the heat to get under it and cook. And I got my oven set on 400 degrees. So we're going to put this bacon in the oven at 400 degrees. And you're just going to kind of watch it. There's not really a set time to cook it. Um, I start out with like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that kind of deal. And I watch my bacon and I just kind of check it along the way. I actually got all this on here. And that's kind of what I do to see, if it's done or not. So we're going to pop this in the oven. Jeffro going to eat all the bacon. And like I said, this allows the bacon to cook good on these racks, but it also allows all the grease to go underneath it and it catches it on your foil. That way you don't have your bacon just setting in the grease, sucking it up, okay? So let me put this in here. And I'm going to set a timer. We're going to start off with 20 minutes. There we go. Now, I got my greasy hands here. Hello, Heat Round. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. All right, now, moving right along. Got our bacon in the oven. Now we're going to jump over to some good old sausage. I just made bacon juice go everywhere. Here, let me grab my trash can. I forgot. All right. So, got our bacon cooking. Now, next important thing in a country style breakfast in the South is our sausage. We got to have our sausage. So, uh, sausage, it's a preference. Hot sausage, mild sausage, medium sausage, a lot of sage in a sausage. It is totally up to you. You can get all kinds of sausage. A lot of times, when it's coming around in the spring, early summer months, local people around here, they actually package sausage, and sometimes I'll catch some fresh sausage off of a farm around here. That is the best sausage. It tastes so good, so fresh, um, and it's just really, really good. Heat rail, that's hilarious. All right. So I have some Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean is big in the South. Jimmy Dean sausage, and they package all natural sausage without all the nasty stuff in it. It has no artificial preservatives or flavors or colors, etc. And it just tastes really good. So that's what I'm working with today. Some good old Jimmy Dean natural sausage. I have half left because the other half we're going to use in some gravy in a minute, and I'll show you how to do that. So here we go. Half my sausage. I'm just going to cut this up into some slices, and it does get messy. Okay, now we are going to cook our sausage up in an iron skillet. Here in the South, we like to use iron skillets to cook. It gives a really nice flavor, and it is really good. Yes, I think so, Jeffro, because this one you never sharpened when I got new. You just kind of buffed it a little bit, and I noticed it's losing its sharpness this week. And I need to find my little fat boy I cut with too. Uh, but anyways, yes. Uh, yes, sausage is in the gravy salt, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, let's turn our eyes to the nice iron skillet over here, okay? I have an iron skillet warming on the stove, and I'm gonna pull it back here. I have put a little bit of grease in it, a little bit of oil, I should say, a little bit of canola oil, because I don't want the skillet too dry or my sausage will stick. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. I've got it heated up, and we are going to put some sausage up in this iron skillet here. Okay, let me get my sausage here. And we're going to drop this down in our iron skillet. Let me turn my light down a little bit. I think I got it too bright. Thank you, Salt. We got that stove new. This is my grandparents' farmhouse, you guys, we live in 2012, we remodeled it. Jeffro and I did, and we added 600 square feet onto it. And we got to move into where my grandma and grandpa lived on the farm here. And this is now our home. We've lived here since 2012. As you may guess, my grandparents have gone on to their final destination. And so we have their home now. And I think it's a blessing because they worked hard for their home. And I'm glad I got to live here and make it a home with our family. So When we did, we got new appliances, salt, and we have a new stove and everything. So it's really nice. I wanted a stove like that without the units exposed, so I really enjoy it. All right, let's see. I'm going to get some more sausage here for us. All right. Okay. Going to keep putting this sausage in. And you'll notice if you ever cooked with iron skillets or iron cookware in general, it does cook a little faster sometimes. So you just want to keep an eye on it. It does have a different taste. People ask me. I can tell a difference in something cooked in the iron skillet. It has a really good taste to it. My grandma used to cook in her iron skillet. She used to have a pot she would make beans in too. You may need to add a little more oil, you'll notice, if you're using an iron skillet just to get it started up. All right, let me get me some paper towels. Wipe off my hands here. Let me see. Let me go on and just cut the rest of the sausage up while I'm doing this. So we got that sausage started here. We're going to check it in just a second. We're going to keep an eye on it and see when we need to flip it. Now I'm cutting my sausage on a food safe cutting board. This cutting board, only my meat, I should say, gets cut on this board. This little board over here is for my vegetables and fruit, so I don't cross-contaminate. So this board right here, I just use for my meats, and then I can scrub it after I'm done with it, because they do get messy. All right. Now, what I do sometimes is I just kind of make the sausage into a shape like I did over there. Because sausage is kind of difficult to cut sometimes because it just mushes. And I don't want them thick patties because then they don't want to get the center cooked out. It wants to be pink in the center. And you want your sausage cooked good. You do not want to eat undercooked sausage. That can make you really sick. So I'm just patting these out a little bit. All right. Yes, salt. I just cut them into like slices, and I just kind of push them down like you would a hamburger, I guess. I thin them out a little bit because if you don't and they're too thick, like I said, you're gonna burn the outside, and the inside isn't gonna cook well. So I like to do that so I have a nice even cook on the sausage. Okay, let's go over here and check on this sausage and see how it's coming along in our skillet here. Now, you guys can't see this, but on the handle of my iron skillet, I have one of these. If you ever go to an iron, like a cast iron store, they'll sell these. It's a handle that you put on the end of your iron skillet, okay? That way you do not burn your hand because you cannot touch a skillet handle an iron skillet handle like you would touch a skillet handle, or it will burn your hand, okay? So these are about ready to flip here. You're going to notice they look a little different when they brown in an iron skillet. You have a nice pretty color to it instead of just a charred look that you might get in just a regular skillet. And also, like if you've ever eaten at Cracker Barrel, y'all, they used to have like a griddle, an iron griddle that they cook their sausage on. That's why it might taste a little different because I've heard some people go, "Ooh, I love Cracker Barrel sausage," and it's because they do cook it, or they used to in an iron thing, and they have smoked sausage also. So that might be why you like the flavor of it. And I kind of push it down a little bit as you see, keeping it flat. My grandpa used to make, he had a mini little iron skillet, and he used to cook up breakfast in it in the morning time. Ooh, our sausage is smelling good. Thanks, Salt. So you can get iron skillets in all shapes, forms, and sizes. There are griddles, there are pots, there are big skillets, little skillets. There are, I mean, just more than you can imagine. We have a outlet here in the Smoky Mountains that I like to go to, and you can get stuff. Now, the hardest thing to cook in an iron skillet, I will tell you, is eggs or anything like that. It does stick, but you can. This right here is a baby iron skillet. It is a 6-inch iron skillet. I did get it at the iron skillet outlet. This is really good if you just want to cook like 2 pieces of sausage, just kind of a one person deal. Um, then this would be good. Yes, heat round. They do shrink a little bit like a hamburger would. Yep, yep. Yes, they do. But this is really good. And look, let me show you this handle on this. See? And you can grab it because a lot of people cook in and out of the oven with an iron skillet, and you want to be able to get it out. So that's what this handle does. But yeah, this thing is really good. I bought this. I make I used to make a small little thing, a skillet of cornbread. In the South, we cook our cornbread in an iron skillet in the oven. So we'll make our cornbread, fill up our iron skillet, put it into the oven. I have a skillet that is in between this little size and this huge size. This iron skillet I think is a 14-inch, but I have a 10-inch iron skillet that I cook my cornbread in, and it's only my bread iron skillet. I only cook my breads in it, and it goes in the oven. Cook my cornbread, and you cut it into just little pieces. So iron skillets are really cool. I'm glad I discovered them ages ago because they're awesome to cook with. So, yeah, so they're really cool to cook with. Now we're just going to keep our eye on these. You'll notice you don't have to have your heat up as high when you're cooking in an iron skillet too, as if you were cooking in a regular skillet. You want to turn it up and you want to, cook the fire out of something. I'm going to put a few more pieces in. Yes, salt. I mean, if you can cook it, like you can cook it in iron skillet usually. So yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. Um, I've seen people take chicken too, salt, and cook their chicken in the iron skillet, and they'll just add it all in there. Like after they cook their chicken, they'll add their like carrots and potatoes and stuff in a big iron skillet, And they'll finish it off in the oven for like 15 minutes after they've cooked it on the stove a little bit. They'll bake it in the oven. It's really good too. So, anyways, that is really cool. Okay, moving right along. We have our sausage cooking in our iron skillet, okay? And let me get this stuff scooted over here. I'm going to pull me a plate over here to get my sausage out with. Okay, so this is what we're going to move on to next. I'm going to scoot down our sausage. Now, you guys that were here for one of my beginning cooking streams, I made breakfast one morning. We made breakfast burritos, breakfast casserole, and I showed you guys how to make from scratch biscuits where you do all the dough, the butter, roll them out, use the cutters, and you have massively huge biscuits. Yo, Jeffro with the gifted subs to Heat Round. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Welcome to the 5 fam Heat Round. So, I'm going to show you guys something different, okay? You guys loved watching me make my homemade biscuits, but you also said to me, hey, Gaming Mama, I would love to have biscuits like that, but I do not have time to hand mix all the dough, and I do not have time to cut them out into cutters, okay? With a biscuit cutter. So I wish I could have that biscuit and that taste without having to do that. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you guys something today different. I'm not going to make homemade biscuits today. I'm going to show you guys, if you have these at your local grocery store, in the freezer section in your bread aisle, these are called Mary B's. I personally like Mary B's biscuits. These are closer to homemade biscuits. They're buttermilk biscuits. These come in a bag of 20. They're regular size biscuits. She has tea biscuits, which are tiny biscuits, or she has these, just regular size biscuits. Mary B's biscuits are closer to a homemade biscuit than a canned biscuit is, okay? Hey, Alice! Let's go! Is Goose in here? If so, welcome, welcome, Goose. So we're going to take Mary B's and we're going to make these Mary B biscuits. And I'm going to show you guys what they look like. It says on the back to heat your oven to 375 or 400. Well, I already have my oven at 400 because I got bacon in there. So we're just going to leave it there. Now, when you get these out, they look like this. You're going to see a flat side and a rounded side. This right here is the flat side. That side goes down onto your cookie sheet, okay? I just took a piece of parchment paper and I put it down. Now, let me see. Now, yeah, that's what I was going to say if it said a tip on here so you guys could see it. Just so you know, if you get your biscuits to touch together, that'll increase the size of baking during the cooking process. So you could spread them out, but I do get my biscuits to touch because it will make them rise more and cook a little bit higher. So we're going to put these on here. We're going to make up some biscuits. And I'm just going to go on and cook all these because I have them and I want to show you guys what they look like all cooked up. I don't need all these biscuits. No, I don't. But one good thing is you can put them in a zip bag and heat them up the next day if you don't eat them all. Let me push this down a little bit. I can get one more on here. There we go. Now I have all my biscuits on there. You get 20 biscuits in a bag, okay? Mary B's, Salty's new diet. Salt, salt. All right. So 400 degrees for approximately 20 minutes or until browned with the internal temp of 165. I don't never use a thermometer on my biscuit. I feel like I don't have to. You can just tell when they're done. They do turn brown and they rise and they start kind of busting looking a little bit. Alrighty. Now my bacon is not done yet. Bacon in the oven does take a lot longer, but it is less messy. Okay, let's check this sausage over here. Back to the sausage. I'm about ready to get those two babies out. You'll notice that the things in the center of your iron skillet will cook faster, as you see on this one, and then this on the outside, because you have your heat is in the center mainly. So sometimes I rotate around. With a hockey stick salt, I think you test your cookies with a hockey stick too. Okay, let me get some of these out, and then we're gonna move on to gravy. That's good salt. It's always good to improve. All right, these little bitties can come out. I'm just putting them on a plate back here with the paper towel on it to get the grease. All right, let me put some more in. Now, a big thing in the South is gravy at breakfast, okay? I know some of you think of gravy like brown gravy you get on your turkey at Thanksgiving, uh, something like that. Hello, Hellbound. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in, Hellbound. We are making a breakfast fit for a Southern style household. Come to the South, and this is what your breakfast is like. Come to Grandma's house, and this is how you eat. So that's what we're doing today. So, guys, we're going to talk about our gravy. Gravy is a huge, huge thing here in the South for breakfast. People love their gravy on their biscuits, okay? Uh, that is the most asked thing in the South is, hey, do you have gravy and biscuits? When they go to a restaurant, a Southern style restaurant down here, a mom and pop. Um, so I'm just going to show you guys how to make it, okay? What I did is I took half a pack of this sausage that I showed you guys, and I just cooked it earlier, okay? So you see it in the skillet back here. I cooked it and I cleaned my sausage off some. I don't leave a lot of grease in my sausage. I don't like the taste of it. I think it's disgusting, okay? So I have this on here and I'm going to turn this back on. And I'm going to turn it to about medium heat and I'm going to get that warming up, okay? And a lot of people in the South call this sawmill gravy, okay? You may hear it called sawmill gravy. Um, it is a thick gravy, white flour based gravy. It's not brown. I hate brown gravy more than anything in this world. It's disgusting to me. But this is a white gravy. I'm very picky about gravy. I am a gravy snob. If I eat gravy, I pretty much only eat it if I make it because a lot of people make their gravy different. There are a few mom and pops that I'll actually eat gravy at. That is really good. But most of the time, it's really greasy. It'll have a skim of grease on it. I don't like that at all. Um, so this is like a sausage sawmill gravy. The reason most places make it too greasy is they literally cook here in the South. They cook their sausage. They do not rinse it off. They leave all the grease, because some sausage can form a ton of grease when you cook it, and they leave it in the skillet and they just go on and start putting their flour and their milk in, and that causes that, and that will actually make me sick at my stomach and nauseated. I don't like that. That's my preference. So this is the way I like to do it. I'm heating back up this sausage. I've rinsed it off lightly and put it back in the skillet. Okay. So once I get this heated up a little bit, what the trick is here is you just take your all-purpose flour or self-rising flour if you don't have any, um, and you're gonna sprinkle flour all over the top of this sausage, okay? And you're gonna sprinkle it good because the flour is what helps make the gravy. If I just poured milk on the top of this sausage, it would never turn into gravy, okay? It would just be hot milk and sausage floating around. Your flour is what makes the paste, which is in sense of your gravy, okay? Hey, Mick. Good morning. Welcome in. So when I start filling this heat back up a little bit, we're going to get our gravy making here. Let me turn this sausage. Now, just to answer y'all's question here, if you're thinking this, no, this is not how the Fab Four eats breakfast all the time. Absolutely not. This is a lot of food. I do not cook breakfast like this all the time. This is breakfasts we usually cook at Christmas or Thanksgiving or something of that nature. Most of the time we have cereal and or breakfast burritos or something like that I might have. If I'm going to cook breakfast, I never make all this meat and gravy and all this. I just want to make all this to show you what a typical Southern breakfast is like, especially if you come and eat at a mom and pop restaurant here. This is going to be some of your options. Yes, very true, cilantro. Cracker Barrel's gravy is a sawmill gravy, if you've ever had it. There is a place, if anybody ever travels, okay, I want to recommend here. If you ever travel to Tennessee one day and you make your way up into the Great Smoky Mountains, okay, which is our favorite place, there is a restaurant in Sevierville, which is Pigeon Forge, and it is called the Old Mill or the Mill. It is known by the mill or the old mill, and it actually has a huge water mill outside of it. You can Google it if you want to. You can Google the Old Mill Restaurant in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and you can see a picture. It is really pretty in the fall, but they make the best breakfast, and it is a go-to place when we go up there. You get your gravy. They have really good gravy. They make their biscuits from scratch. They have theirs. They used to squeeze their orange juice and do all that. So if anybody's ever traveling and go into the Great Smoky Mountains, I highly recommend going into Pigeon Forge and eating at the Mill or the Old Mill restaurant. They do have dinner and lunch too, but we actually have never eat there. We for dinner or lunch we only eat breakfast there. Really good place. So highly recommend. Salt, you can add that to your RV trips when you get your RV one day and you go traveling. Salt, you can come up to the Smoky Mountains and eat at the meal, the old meal restaurant, okay? All right. I actually think that would be a fun place, Salt Seriousness, if you ever really started to travel into the U.S. and you ever came into Tennessee, definitely go to the Great Smoky Mountains. It is a very, very beautiful destination. Beautiful mountains. They are called the Great Smoky Mountains because literally sets on the mountain and it's fog, is what it is. But it looks like smoke. And when the sun comes up through the smoke, it's gorgeous. There are some of the prettiest pictures. I've actually seen them. There was a picture one time in the National Geographic magazine that was taken in the Great Smoky Mountains because it's so pretty. And if you stay into the Great Smoky Mountains, it's on the border of North Carolina into the Cherokee Mountains. Really gorgeous area. Like they call it Maggie Valley. I would definitely live there. Yes, sawmill gravy is a thicker gravy. Cilantro's right. He's helping me out here with his little information. Sausage gravy sometimes has a thinner, yeah, gravy than a sawmill gravy. Sawmill gravy a lot of time is a thicker gravy. Let's see here. Okay, now I'm gonna pull my sausage into a pile in the skillet, okay? So I'm trying to see if you guys can see this and I'll pull it back over. I'm just pulling it into the middle, okay? And then I'm gonna take my flour and I'm gonna put the flour on it, okay? We're not gonna be stingy with it. And I'm gonna take this spatula and I'm gonna stir my sausage into my flour. Now I'm gonna crank her up, okay? Because the key to good gravy is get this skillet hot. And I'm cranking her up. I want to start hearing it sizzle. I've not added any fluid yet. I'm moving around this flour. I don't want it to scorch. Flour will scorch. Usually I have it a little hotter. Okay, now that I see the sausage is nice and coated in my flour, I'm going to add a little bit more flour, okay? Okay, and I'm getting that hot, hot, hot. I should be done with my flour. I'm going to move it out of the way. It is funny, Hellbound. It's so I find all that kind of stuff interesting, actually. Okay, bacon is smelling delicioso. I'm gonna just go on and stick these biscuits on the bottom rack. What I normally do, y'all, is I go on and make my bacon in the oven and I pull it out and then put my biscuits on the top rack. But I'm just gonna get those cooking some. Okay. Here, let me rinse off my spatula here. I got flour on it. Hey, Slimy, what's up, girl? Happy Saturday. Hope you had a good evening, Slimy. Hope you had some good rest and you're ready to rock Saturday. Hope you're doing good, sweetheart. All right, some of these little pieces are ready to come out. I have been very congested. For some of you weren't in here, I wanted to go on and apologize earlier in stream. If I see steam stopped up, I went ahead and took all my sinus medicine this morning before stream. but I had a terrible time breathing last night. I was so congested, so I apologize if I'm a little stopped up. Slimy, I heard you got to play last night and I missed it. I played with Gran, but it was toward the end of the stream, and I think you had already played with him. I missed it. I missed it. We have all our sausage in here. Now, a trick with your iron skillet. Okay, now, this is heating up. Hold on just a minute. Yep, this is starting to heat. Okay, so I don't want my flour to burn. Now, it's time to put the milk in. Okay, you just pour the milk. And you hear it? It's a bubbling up. I know it's good. And you just pour till you cover a little bit, okay? All right, getting that incorporated. Now, I'm going to put some more milk in here. Use quite a bit of milk. Now, my sausage is covered up, okay? If you guys can see that, my sausage looks like it's floating in here, okay? That is good to go. I don't want to add any more milk. If I want to make more than this, then I put more sausage and a lot more flour. But this is plenty right here. And I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. And you're going to get this cooking. It'll start boiling a little bit, okay? Yeah, Polar and I tried to rock it with Grand. We ended up getting the win, though, but we struggled, but we got it. It was funny. If I wouldn't have got a purple pump and been able to hit the sweaty sweats in the builds, then I was in trouble. Salt wants to drink the gravy. Okay, what I was going to tell you guys about the iron skillet is when you're done cooking your meats, as soon as it's cool enough for you to touch your skillet, you need to take your skillet over to the stove. And I usually put some water in, and I have a little scrubby brush, just a brush, a bristle brush that you use in the kitchen. No, don't use any kind of scrubbers on it, like in the sense of like what do they call them? You know, with the built-in cleaner and they're coarse. Don't use those on these. Just use an actual brush. And I wet it, and you just kind of scrub it, and it loosens everything up and cleans it, and rinse it out. And then go on and take a towel or paper towels and dry your skillet out. Do not leave any water on it. It will rust. You have to wash and dry it immediately, or it rusts. Okay. Now keep an eye on your gravy. You don't want it to burn, and it's going to thicken as it cooks. Bacon's looking good. Okay. Like I said, I just kind of rotate my sausage because the center does get hotter in an iron skillet. Yes, Hellbound, we make that. We just call it shingles. My grandpa used to have it in the army in the war, and he'd come back and he made it for my mom when she was a kid. So then my mom made it for me when I was a kid. We still make that. We put ground beef. We put ground beef in the skillet and we make gravy and we'll put it over toast or biscuits and we'll eat it and we just call it shingles. That was like their main breakfast in the army, apparently, in the military when he was in World War II. So it's kind of funny that you know what that is, Hellbound. Most people I tell about that, they have no idea. I grew up on that stuff. They have no idea what it is. They look at me like I'm crazy. So, hey, Hellbound, you must be crazy too with me. All right, I'm going to add some salt to my gravy over here. Oh, I like it, Hellbound. My sister, I had to teach her how to make it. It's like her favorite, but she's not really good at it. She's better now. All right, I put some pepper in here. Stir in that pepper and salt in my gravy. Sausage is cooking up nice. Only got a few pieces left. Then we're going to move on to our next meat here. Salt, salt, salt. This is starting to get a little thicker. Okay, let me get something to set my rack on here. Yes, you weren't the one echoing, Cilantro. It was that new person that played with Grand that was in with Frank. He swore he wasn't echoing, but he was because he echoed when you guys played, and then when he got in with Frank and Gran, he was echoing too. But that's who it was. It wasn't you. But that was nice of you, Cilantro, to not want to be echoey on Grand Stream, just in case. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Okay. So we have all of our sausage out, and I have it on a plate here. I just put it on a plate with a paper napkin, and I'm going to set it over to the side here. Now I'm going to get my bacon out. Let me move my biscuits up to the top rack. Let me put a timer here. Start that up. This is thickening up nice. Now, let's come back over here. Our bacon. We got our bacon out of the oven. Now, I think my bacon is going to stick. I don't think I put enough cooking spray on these. I do think it's going to stick. Yeah, and it's too hot for me to pull off right now. So I'm not going to pull it off right now. I don't want to burn my fingers, but this is your bacon. You're supposed to coat these really, really good with cooking oil so they don't stick. And I don't think I put enough on there. But that is how you cook your bacon in the oven. Um, I'm actually going to move this out of my way for a minute so we can go on to our next item. And I need that to cool so I can get it off. So let me move this out of the way. I don't want to burn my fingers, but it does come off pretty easy. It's just I those are new racks I bought, uh cooking racks, and I think I didn't put enough stuff on them to get them coated really well. So that bacon's probably going to break into pieces, but normally it just comes right off real easy. But like I said, they're brand spanking new. I just got them, haven't really used them. And so you have to coat them really good to break them in. So that's the deal with that. All right, the next thing in the South that you'll find at a good country breakfast is country ham. We call it country ham. We call city ham is just what normal people eat as ham that's on the bone, cook in the oven. That's called city ham. This is country ham. Usually country ham we can get here people actually cook. Country ham has to be stored at a certain temperature when they're processing it. We have some local farmers that do it. Some of it's aged for months and years, uh, but it's mainly months. Like this right here has been aged for 90 days, it says. And it's processed in a certain way. It has a different flavor. A lot of times you'll find them on biscuits here. And it is a saltier ham because it's processed with a curing salt. So country ham, I don't really eat it much because it is way so salty. It's not my thing that much. I used to love it as a kid, but the older I got, I just got where I didn't like salt as much. But I got the better ham here because a lot of the fat's been taken away from it, that kind of thing. But this is called City Farm Country Ham, or we better known as Clifty Farms here. This is a local ham place in Paris, Tennessee, that makes ham, and they sell it at our local grocery store. So that's what I got. If you do want to try country ham out ever, get a good ham. Don't try some cheap country ham. It's gonna taste cheap, okay? Trust me. Let's see. I like going to like the local farmers when they process it. It just tastes really good. But I don't really get it that often. I don't even know the last time I've had country ham. It's been several years. Cracker Barrel has it on their menu also. All right, so I got this open, and the ham, it just kind of looks like this. Just reminds you of ham, but like I said, it's processed differently. And I just put it in the iron skillet that we just cooked our sausage in, okay? Now, ham pops a lot, okay? That's normal. Our gravy's starting to bubble over here. I'm going to turn it down even more. Gravy sticks to the skillet a little bit. It's kind of hard to prevent it, just so y'all know. It's not going to scorch it or anything. You can if you don't attend to it, but country ham is going to curl up when you cook it too, okay? It usually starts curling up. The ham is about uh I don't know, a quarter inch or better, maybe a little thicker. If you have a meat press, which I don't have one right now, it's good to set down on top of this. I have to be careful because it does, like I said, whew, your stove will have to be clean when you're done. It splatters everywhere. Country ham is a must in the iron skillet. The meal I was telling you about, that restaurant in the Smoky Mountains, they make theirs on a in an iron skillet too. Now, you do not need to put oil in this skillet for ham. As you can see, this ham makes enough oil on its own. Yep, this is thickening. This is almost done. My biscuits are coming along good. My bacon, I hate my poor bacon broke. It's still edible, but it's actually coming off. Actually coming off. Let's go. Smoked bacon? Yeah, 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 salt. I've heard of that. We have Canadian bacon here. Most people don't like it, but we do have it here. Ever After, what's up? Welcome in. Happy Saturday. Yes, Hellbound. Thank you. Canadian bacon. I hope you've had an awesome, wonderful week this week, Ever After. Canadian bacon is usually left on the shelf, just so you know, at the grocery store here, Salt. You want to make sure your country ham is cooked really well, okay? We're going to let that cook for a little bit. Okay, now I have a little skillet here. While that ham is cooking, I'm going to show you what we're going to do over there. Yes, they put Canadian bacon on pizza here. Exactly, Hellbound. It's not the same thing, salt is different, but Hellbound is right. It's especially a lot more salt. Yes, I wish you guys could have breakfast with us too. We'd sit down and eat like the Waltons. Okay, now that is done. I'm going to turn that unit off for the gravy. Oh my God, Salt, you're hilarious. That's okay. You can leave American cheese on the shelf. That's okay. All right. Now we're going to make us some eggs. People like eggs on their biscuits. Jeffro's favorite thing to do is take a biscuit and some egg and some sausage and some cheese and have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. He likes it when I make those for him. You can fry your egg, poach your egg, scramble your egg. In the South, a lot of people like their eggs scrambled. I'm going to break a couple of eggs in here and show you guys. You don't like eggs, Hellbound? Yeah, one day I'm going to travel the world and feed Salt. He's going to get an RV one day and travel the world, and he's probably going to play golf somewhere, and then I can cook for him. As long as we go to Disney World on that trip, I'm good. My husband can vouch that I love me some Disney World. All right, I put 3 eggs in here. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. We're going to put a hair bit of salt. Just a hair because I don't like a lot of salt in my food. And I love table blend, Mrs. Dash. We're going to put a little bit of that in there. Let me check these biscuits. They're about to come out. We're about to take them out. Okay, it's official. We're having Grand Con 2022, and maybe COVID will go away and they'll open up more perimeters of Disney and we can have an awesome time. Yes, Epcot definitely. Y'all, I like Disney so much that my husband told me I could pick anywhere, anywhere. Hawaii, anywhere I wanted to go on our honeymoon when we got married. And guess what? This gal picked Disney World. And he looked me in the eye and said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yes, I'm serious. I've never been." And I had never been until we got married. And I said, "You know how much I love Disney." And he said, "Okay, honey, if that's where you want to go." And that's what we did. We went to Disney World on our honeymoon. And I was happy as a lark. All right. Now, Don't be tearing Epcot up, Salt, now. We don't need that happening. All right, we're going to add a little bit of milk in here. Okay. And I'm going to take my immersion blender. And we're going to blend up these eggs. A tip, if you have an immersion blender, they make the best scrambled eggs because they put air into the egg and beats it in a different manner than just a whisk. It's so good. Let me get that so I can lay it down. Hey, Polar! What's up, dude? All right, I think this country ham is ready to come out. Breakfast can get overwhelming in the kitchen sometimes because you feel like you have so much to come in and out of the oven and stove. So keep your eyes on stuff. I have burnt many of things. Breakfast can be taxing. Biscuits out. I'm going to set them over here to the side. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here and we're going to put this little skillet right here. Is perfect. I've put some oil in it and I'll put my eggs in it. All right. Now, this little skillet is pretty cool. It's just like a little copper line skillet. It cooks pretty fast. All right. Let me get stuff ready over here while those are cooking. Get some things out of the way. I'm going to turn down the heat on that iron skillet. It gets hot in the kitchen, just so you guys know, when you're cooking like this. So if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen, right? That's what my mom always said. All right. Your iron skillet may smell, it's going to start smelling like a little burny, but it's not. It's just because of the you're cooking so much in the heat in it. And it shrinks up too. All right. Flipping that egg, that big old egg. Turning this down. All right, it's all coming together. I'm gonna get me a bowl here for my gravy. I'm gonna pull this off. I'm gonna go over to my table over here. That's my smoke detector, Jeffro. In the hallway, you may want to wave it. It's because the iron skillet. It does that, guys. Your iron skillet makes a lot of noise for your. Yep, that was my smoke detector in my hallway. I have one near my kitchen. That's been the downfall of that one since we lived here, is it can go off easy. And it's from my iron skillet. It's kind of close to the kitchen. Okay, let me get another little thing here. All right, so let's go back over here and show you what some breakfast looks like. That's our gravy. This is like the thick consistency of it. All right, see here, here's my little Mickey hot pad too. We got our orange juice. We have to have our OJ. Orange juice is good. Here is some pieces of our country ham that came out of the iron skillet. Here is our egg. Nice and fluffy. Okay, Jeffro. It's because of that iron skillet, Jeffro. It's because of that smoke detector. Usually it sets the one in the living room off because it's so close. That is something I expect every time I use an iron skillet, y'all, is my smoke detector usually goes off. It's just because it does. It makes the iron skillet get so hot and it makes a lot of smoke. That is very normal. When my grandma used to cook in the iron skillet, my grandpa used to ask her if she's burning the house down. I'll just let the rest of those cook. Okay, so we have that out. Let me get us a plate here. Now, our biscuits came out back here. Let me show you what these guys look like. This is a pan of biscuits. This is a good old big pan of buttermilk biscuits. Okay, so let me show you here. We're going to take one of our biscuits, and we're going to crack this bad boy open. You just put a fork in it, open it up face like that. Okay, and mix up our gravy here. And you put your gravy on your biscuit. Okay, you got your gravy on your biscuit. Now, we're going to take another biscuit. And let me show you what Jeffro likes to do here. You open up your biscuit, okay? And this egg I scrambled up, I'm going to take a piece of it. And I'm going to put a piece of egg on there. And I'm going to take a piece of sausage. And I got my American cheese over here. I'm going to take some of it out. And I'm going to put a piece of cheese on here. Okay? And since I didn't put that much egg, I'm going to put just a little more egg on top. And I'm going to put the top on the biscuit. And you have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Okay? Sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Homemade. Then I'm going to put a little bit of some country ham on here. And let's see. Then I'm going to put some bacon on there. And there you go. We got some breakfast going on. Yeah, where is Frank at this morning? And you can put egg on your plate if you want to. And there you go. We have ourselves a good breakfast. Country ham, bacon, sawmill gravy with sausage in it, and a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. You can just put some sausage on a plate and your eggs and all that kind of stuff, and you can eat your breakfast that way if you like. Let me flip this ham. He's probably snoozing. Half the time he don't go to bed, I think. So there you go, guys. And this little skillet makes eggs good. This little copper skillet, you can scramble up some eggs good. And I try to keep them in pieces if I'm going to make them on a biscuit. But there you go. And as your gravy sets, it keeps on thickening. So just so you know, that's like the consistency of sawmill gravy, okay? So that's your gravy, your sausage. We have our ham, which we've got more on the iron skillet coming out. We have our ham, and we have our biscuits back here. So that right there, my friends, is what we call One heck of a Southern breakfast. And you can put hot sauce, any seasoning on this stuff you want. It is totally up to you, all in how you want to make it or eat it. So you can definitely do that. We have lots of hot sauce egg eaters here. And also in the South, we put ketchup on our scrambled eggs, y'all. And there's the biscuits. So there you go, guys. Go right there. You're looking at it on that table. That's if you go to Grandma's house in the South, that's what your breakfast looks like, y'all. So, anyways, guys, I thank you for coming along with me into my kitchen this morning and just down in the South here in my kitchen, making up a good Southern breakfast. I hope you guys have a rest of a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy your Saturday. I hope you enjoy whatever is on the agenda for you today. And most of you guys I'll probably see in Grand Stream later. Please, if you don't follow Grand 007 Pa, please go check him out. We auto host him. He is an awesome, awesome person. Please go check him out. And I'm glad you guys came along for our Southern breakfast this morning. And if y'all have any questions, hit me up in the Discord. I'll definitely be able to help you guys out. And hey, Heather, I'm glad you stopped in. So, anyways, guys, y'all are a blessing. Love each and every one of you. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your wonderful day. And don't forget, tell someone you love them today. Bye bye.